Hi, welcome to the talking phase, because every good story starts with a little drama. This is our first ever podcast, and we are fired up. Before we dive in, this podcast is supported by LifeSpark.bio, a men's reproductive health brand, and Ask a Fuckboy. Check them out at www.lifespark.bio or www.askafuckboy.com. Quick housekeeping: to reach us and share your funny or horrendous dating stories, please email hellotalkingphase@gmail.com. Quick round of intros before we begin. I'm Conrad. I'm single. I'm 31. I'm an entrepreneur living in Los Angeles. And Andie, do you want to say hello to the one person who is listening?
Yes, I'm Andie. I am also single. I'm 29 and I live in New York, and I'm an entrepreneur.
I love it.
That's
Exciting
pretty much
stuff.
all you need to know about me.
That's it. You are a mystery box. Maybe with every episode, we'll learn a little bit more.
Exactly.
So why are we doing this podcast? There are probably 1 trillion podcasts based on Andy and Mai's math. Well, we are here to dive into the dating pool as two single people who have been on many eclectic dates, which we will share with you. And we will share other dating experiences as well from our friends, family, and enemies. And we are here to see if we can swim with the sharks, laugh with the clowns, and maybe, just maybe, find our Nemo. We're here to share, chuckle, and connect over the wild ride that is modern dating. So, as we begin, I feel like we should introduce ourselves maybe a little bit more. Andie, do you want to start just with, where you live, how old you are, why you're single, and then maybe if you want to get into it, what do you look for in a partner?
Why I'm single? What a loaded question. No, for sure. I'm 29. I live in New York, and I've been single for about a year now. I am in New York because I wanted to chase those dreams, live those passions out, make some money doing it. And so I run a business. It's like a media company where we do like funny campaigns for brands. And through that, we do a comedy show called Ask a Fuckboy, where we want to basically get to the bottom of why fuckboys do what they do by asking them directly for the first time ever. But yeah, why am I single? I feel like there are people to date. I could for sure have a boyfriend, but I've done the thing of being in a relationship because I feel like it's the right thing to do and it serves a function in my life. And like, I'm with someone who checks a lot of boxes, but at this point, I'm just really looking for a soulmate. Like, my parents are soulmates, and I don't really think I want to settle for anything less than that. So if it takes me a lifetime, I'm down to be 90 years old and single if it means waiting for what's right for me.
I love that. I have a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Yes, fire away.
Question number 1: have you ever been on a date with someone who you met on Ask a Fuckboy? Have you been on a date with a fuckboy?
I didn't meet them on Ask a Fuckboy, but I have invited guys to Ask a Fuckboy that I've gone on dates with, and it's like a nice test because sometimes they'll leave the show and then want nothing to do with me because of the show. Like, they don't want to be on Ask a Fuckboy, so they don't want to, I don't know, do anything that might end up on the show. But then some guys really take it like a champ, and so that is a really good test for the right guys.
Yeah, it sounds like you want someone who can roll with the punches. And
Yes.
your parents, how long have they been married now?
I think it's like almost 40 years now that they've been married. So
Wow.
they met in high school.
Wow. So
Yeah.
was it like love story forever? Did they ever break up?
No, they were a love story forever. They say that my mom always says that people say relationships take a lot of work, and she famously is like, that's a red flag to me because I've never had to work in this relationship. It's so easy. So yeah, they're very cute and very happy.
Dang, that's amazing. And it sounds like obviously you're incredibly successful. I know you personally. I know that you're super successful. So it sounds like you need a man who's gonna like meet you where you are and be very additive, right? It's we're no longer
Yeah.
22 and it's just you want to hook up with the hottest dude. It's now you want someone
Yeah.
who can actually improve your life.
Yeah, if anything, my life has just gotten better since being single. So if a guy can just like make it even better than that, I'm like, that's what I'm looking for. So yeah. What about you? What is your story?
I love it. Thank you for the intro, Andy. I am Conrad. I am from LA. I was in New York the last couple of years, I hilariously have 3 degrees from Stanford. I wish that I could say that made me smart, but I think it just makes me have gone to school a lot. And I was a consultant for a long time. So if anyone has consulting questions, please let me know. And I was also a kicker for a long time. So if anyone has kicking questions, also let me know. No one literally ever does. Um, but when people do like missed kicks sometimes in the NFL, people will text me and be like, Conrad, you would have made that. And I'm just like, yeah, for sure. It used to really bother me, and now it doesn't anymore. It's just kind of funny. And I recently left McKinsey to start a men's reproductive health brand called LifeSpark. We do at-home sperm testing and men's prenatal vitamins. 50% of infertility now comes from men. Sperm counts are down 60%. Andie actually hosted a kick-ass fertility summit, I'm going to call it, in Los
Yeah.
Angeles with a bunch of leaders in the space. And she was very nice to include me, which is awesome. I felt like a superstar for an hour. And now I live in LA. I'm in Venice. And I think to answer the question we asked, as a consultant, I love frameworks. And so my wife, I think, has 3 C's. It's challenging,
Gosh.
charismatic, and cute. But I think that's like so weak to say. But I think literally you hit the nail on the head when it's just someone who is going to improve and push your life forward, right? And I was certainly in high school, like I went to an all boys high school, and it was just like, oh, who's dating the cutest girl, right? Like, oh yeah, she's and
Yeah.
I wish things were that simple, but I just don't think they are anymore.
You think, as in like it takes more than just being the cutest girl?
Yeah, in the sense that you didn't have these like deep seated objectives when you were like looking
Mm,
for a partner.
yeah.
It was literally like so surface value. And I'm curious if that's why, you think about divorce, right? Divorce is over 50% now. But if you're over the age of 25 and you're financially stable, divorce rates like go way, way down.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's good. That's great.
Yeah. And so I wonder if that has to do with, obviously your brain is fully developed, but then two,
Yeah.
maybe you're looking for more like longevity suited qualities rather than just am I attracted to this person?
Yeah, and also maybe if you're already financially secured in the first place, you're not looking for someone else to complete you financially. So you're looking more at the connection and other factors. At least for me, has been the
That's
case.
deep.
So it's deep
That's deep.
stuff.
I love it. Okay, moving on. So, Andie, we live in a modern dating era with a million dating apps and Instagram DMs and TikTok DMs and what's your snap score. But what is the craziest thing that you have ever done either to like get a first date or on a first date?
Oh man, I've done many a crazy things. I think probably the craziest one that people in my life would know is that in college, I there was a friend of a friend, this guy that I met, and we both really bonded because we were like, oh my God, we both love Rhapsody in Blue, which is the song. Anyway, who doesn't love that song? And yet I thought we were soulmates because of it. And so he lived in Boston at the time. And I was like, I could go to Boston and just tell him that I'm going to be there. And so I flew to Boston, stayed with a friend, and I was like, hey, I'm in Boston. Would love to see you. And we had only hooked up once at this point, and the last time I'd seen him, he was like, oh, would love to see you again. But we weren't dating, so I had to play it super casually. And turns out he did not want to see me that badly. Badly enough, it seems, because we did not end up seeing each other. And I was so heartbroken over it that I wrote a song about it. And then my family helped me record a music video to the song when we were in Death Valley. And it was so much fun. So we got him back.
Oh my God. Wait, can we just unpack that a little bit? So
So
you had never
much
met
to
him.
unpack. Well, I had met him in person. We had hooked up once.
Got it. My
I
bad.
should have said that. And then I went to Boston because I was so just twinkly eyed over
And
this
did you
man.
tell, like, so he thought that you were just already there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I played it like I was just visiting.
Wait, that's actually amazing though. I
Is
love
it?
that.
Because I didn't end up seeing him again. Mm,
No, but it's for the plot, right? Like, I don't know. I think it's
exactly.
I think it's all good. But okay, so then you fly out, and did you know when you were with him? Because I feel like there's this allure the first time you meet someone, and then when you meet them a second time, I found that sometimes it's
Oh
like
yeah.
different. So when you actually met them the second time, were you still head over heels for this dude? Obviously you're enough to make a song about him, but
Yeah, no, that's such a good point. I've also experienced that. The second time is always like kind of a downer. But no, the second time I hung out with him, I felt like it was just sparks flying. Like we were so in sync and so many things were aligned between us and our lives. So I thought, I gotta fly out to see this guy. And then I did.
yeah,
What about you? What's like,
amazing.
have you ever done anything crazy to date a girl?
So I like to send out Christmas cards every year. It's kind of my thing. I'm sure you can see it behind me. And I have always, like, most of my adult life, I've had a girlfriend, and I've always had roommates, just like in business school. And I was in San Francisco and in New York. So this year is the first time in my life that I'm single and I don't have a roommate to like send a Christmas card out. So I did a solo card. Um, that's me, which is super fun.
Love it.
I say anyone, there's a dog right there. And long story short, there's a QR code at the top. And my thinking is it's going to be on 1,000 fridges. I sent it to 1,000 people. And my wife is going to walk by and be like, oh, who's that like, not unattractive guy? And scan it. And then it sends me a text message. And then we're going to fall in love and get married like a Hallmark movie.
Oh my God, I see it playing out right before my very eyes. Where does the QR code send you?
It sends me a text and it says, hi, Conrad. Love the Christmas card. Sincerely, the person who scanned it. And then there's some cute emojis. The issue is that I posted it on TikTok and it's gotten like 100,000 views or something like that. And I didn't realize that you can pause the TikTok and scan the QR code. And
Oh,
so I've been getting like a million, not anymore, but when it was like kind of in the
yeah.
algo, I was getting a ton of texts, like at least 10 a day. And most of them were just good, nice people, saying hi. The funny thing was like no one ever sends their name. So it's like I just get the text and it's like, okay, this could be like some
Oh
person
yeah.
in like China, like who knows who this is, right? And so I kind of stopped responding. But I also did get a couple of like nudes from guys
Oh
and girls.
my
Yeah.
God.
It's just like internet. It's just like the internet. There's just
Yeah, it's just the
trolls.
internet.
You know what I mean? And who knows? Like, it's just probably some young
Wow.
person who's like, oh, I'm just gonna mess with this
Yeah.
guy. And so it's whatever. I laugh and then just block the number.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God, I can't believe you had 1,000 people to send it to. Like, I don't even know 1,000 people. So that's great.
31 years of research. I have a
Mhm.
massive Excel spreadsheet. So I sent 1,000, and I will say probably like 50 to 60 like came back to me.
Oh
You know what
yeah.
I mean? I have
So
a
yeah.
huge pile, and it's because like, your uncle moves or
Yeah.
something, and I just didn't update all of them. Um, and then there's this like cost benefit analysis where it's like, okay, I sent this to my random like second uncle to be nice. Am I gonna like resend it again, put on new
Yeah.
postage, and resend it to them? And so I didn't resend all of them. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. But that's so exciting. That's a pretty high success rate. You'll probably get many more messages in the coming months. So.
We'll see. I hope so. Okay, transition. New. Can we start a new series with you?
Yes.
Presented by Ask the Cook Boy.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we call these crazy dating stories. And this is where we're going to each read a dating story from either people who have emailed us or ones that we find online. And Andie, I would love for you to start and read a crazy dating story, and then we're going to react to it. And then the chat will obviously react to it as well.
Okay. I have a story. I don't even have to read it because someone told it to me. This has happened to a few people I know. Do you know what a happy ending is? Like a happy ending massage? Okay.
Yes, never had one, but know what it is.
Right. Yeah, you go in for a regular massage or a regular massage parlor, but they do a little bit more than what is advertised. So anyway, I know like four different guy friends, like friends of friends or direct friends who've gone in for a regular massage and then the woman just starts giving them a happy ending or asks like, do you want a happy ending? And he's like, what? Like they did not go in trying to get this. And all of a sudden they're being asked to like take down their towel and she's like rubbing places. So the story is that I know a girl who was dating someone and her boyfriend went to get a regular massage, and then halfway through the massage, maybe not even halfway through, the masseuse starts like giving him a happy ending. He's so stunned that he doesn't do anything, and he lets it go to fruition, and afterwards he like tells his girlfriend and she breaks up with him, and because he didn't stop her in the middle of the massage. So I guess my question is like, do you think that that's cheating? Do you think he should have stopped her? Like, I don't know. It's obviously like an assault of some kind also. Like he was a victim in a way. So
Oh my God. That's insane.
it's an insane story.
Yeah. Okay. I'm processing. Initial reaction. I've had massages before. Never had the happy ending stuff. Massages are like a little awkward. I feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're just already a little bit awkward. So I feel like you're in that space. But I'm gonna be real. If you're was he with his girlfriend there?
No, she was at home. He was just getting a massage regular solo.
Oh my God. I'm shook, but I think you have to stop it.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Like you just have to. That's just so awkward. I feel like for me, as soon as there was even any like movement towards there, I would just be like, hey, like, no.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's so weird because massages are already kind of a gray area though. They're already touching you and it's like very sensual. So
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know. It's a crazy one.
That is a crazy one. That is a crazy one. We'll see what everyone else thinks.
Yes.
Okay, mine. I'm actually just going to tell you a personal one. I put this on TikTok too, and for some reason, I like try to make TikTok stuff about my companies, and like everyone's just literally I sleep, and then when I post about dating and stuff, then everyone's like, "Oh, I'm interested." So take that as you will. Anyways, I had just moved to LA. I was on a second date with a girl, and I think I'll tell you the lessons at the end. But date number 1, she was 30 minutes late, which like 30 minutes is a long time. And to her credit, she did text me, "Hey, I'm running late." Like 30 minutes. I totally understand 15, I understand 20, but like half an hour, that's deep. You know what I mean? And especially because she lived in Venice where we were going. If she lived in like Silver Lake or West Hollywood, I would give her more grace. So that was red flag number 1. Then the date was totally fine. And the next weekend, I was like, hey, I thought we had a fun time. Let's get dinner. We get dinner on Abbot Kinney. And then she's like, oh, let's go to Market, which is my favorite bar in LA. Next time you're out here, we're definitely going to go.
Market.
And we go, and right when we walk in, she says, oh my God, that's my ex-boyfriend. I'm like, okay. And she says, like, she's just like pauses. I'm like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, do you want me to go get us drinks? And she's like, yeah, go get us drinks. Go, and I get 2 mezcal sodas because it sounds classier than tequila sodas. And I'm walking back, and within the 3 minutes that it took for me to go and get drinks, she is making out with her ex-boyfriend on our second date.
What an absolutely psychotic move. What did you do?
So I drank both, and then I just left and met up with other friends. But then she had the audacity the next morning to text me and say, where did you go?
Where did you go, girl?
Yeah, and so I didn't respond. And then she texted me again and was like, hey, like, I had a lot of fun. Would love to see you again. And so I did text her back, and I was like, hey, I don't think this is right. And she was like, what? Why? And I was like, oh, well, you were making out with your ex-boyfriend on our second date.
What did you say?
And she said, oh, well, I really like you and I'd love to get a second chance. And so I just didn't respond.
Oh my God, maybe she wants you to join them. A little situation.
Ooh, that's good. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people are into it.
Dang.
Wow.
Okay, well, I have one other question for you, and then we'll wrap up. This has been a wonderful pod. How do you feel about New Year's Eve dates?
Personally, too much pressure. I think that's a big holiday. Also, I'm someone who I think New Year's in general is a little bit too much pressure, even just socially. Like having to have a great time at New Year, or like when the new year hits, and I feel like everyone's always like, "Who's going to be my kiss?" I don't know. It's just a lot of pressure, and I feel that that is too much personally. But what do you think?
I agree. I think New Year's is super overrated. I think like there's always so much expectation for New Year's, and then when you actually go and do it, I don't think it's that fun. That's just my take
Yeah,
because it's always like, oh, let's get a ticket to this club, and I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. It feels like Vegas. It's like Vegas everywhere night.
yes. Oh my God, Vegas is always a letdown. Although I would still go to Vegas.
It's same. I mean, like
Yeah,
Vegas is literally the best. But I
yeah,
feel like for you always think you're gonna have more fun in Vegas than you do have. That's just my
yeah.
take.
Yeah, maybe if I
Yeah,
was like a millionaire in Vegas, that would be fun. Like blowing money on a bunch of slots and strippers. I don't know.
totally. And then how do you feel about like how many times like would you feel comfortable like texting a guy? Meaning
Like in a
like have you
row?
would you quadruple tax? Like I feel like, I know it's such a broad
No,
question.
no. I expect, honestly, especially in the beginning, like someone's gotta come to me a little bit more. I just feel like maybe it's a gendered thing, maybe it's just my personality, but I just feel like I much prefer someone to show their interest in the beginning. And if someone doesn't even like respond in a timely manner, I'll just call them out and be like, "You're not responding in a timely manner. I'm not into this."
I
So
love that. If anyone
yeah,
doesn't know, you need to check out Andy's TikTok. You have some great call outs on
I
your
have some
TikTok.
zingers.
You have some great ones. Do you have a favorite zinger that you can share and then we'll go?
Um, well, of in that genre, like just there was a guy who I met and then he was into it and then he messaged me and then he like was we were texting back and forth and then he like doesn't respond for maybe a week or two and then he finally follows up and says, "Hey, want to get drinks this week?" And I was just like, you're not responding in a timely enough manner, so I'm not your girl. Bye bye. And that was the end of that. Never saw him again.
What a time to be alive.
So
I love
true.
it. Awesome. Well, Andy, before we wrap up, any words of wisdom, or is there anything that you want to share with our audience of 10 million viewers before we close?
Hmm. Maybe just that if the women of New York started banding together and not settling anymore, the men would sort of match that energy and we'd finally all be happy. That's just my take.
I like
What
that.
about you? Any final thoughts?
Um, I have just one about humor and patience. I found these on the internet. So supposedly, 85% of successful dates involved you laughing at the other person's jokes. So I think that makes sense,
Oh,
right? Like humor
yeah.
aligned. And then studies also show that 78% of people who waited an extra week to meet someone ended up in longer lasting relationships. So, not like if you match with someone on Raya and you're really excited about it and they're not available that weekend, it could be a blessing in disguise.
Oh my God, this reminds me. I actually, with the most recent guy I've been seeing, I changed my flight to go on our first date and I paid $200 to be able to go on our first date. Anyway, another time. But yes, I agree with that.
That's a great segue to episode 2. Anyways, follow
Yes.
us on our socials. It's the talking phase on TikTok, Instagram, and literally everything. You'll see you can be one of the first people in the community, which is exciting. Email us hello talkingphase at gmail.com and stay tuned for the next episode where we're going to have some very, very exciting guests on. Anything else, Andy?
Thanks, guys.